And a good morning to you. Little foggy outside, little misty rain almost falling down. I had to go get me some ice earlier this morning. I'm not as picky and queer as my wife is about ice, but we don't have an ice maker in our refrigerator in here, so I'm not crazy about the ice trays. So I run up here to the little convenience store and get a bag of ice and keep it in a little Tupperware container. But glad to have you along with us. It's a different morning today. They're calling for temperatures to be around 90 degrees all week into the weekend. Yeah. Maybe lower mid-80s about Labor Day. Can you believe Labor Day is around the corner? And this Friday, you're going to be 3 weeks into a 10-week season.
Yep. 3 weeks.
Can't wait for it to get here. Think it's never going to get here, and then when it gets here, it's over.
Dude,
it's gone. Yeah. It's gone quickly. So, high school football. Let me remind you about this. Chris sent me a note this morning. Chris Hobbs Daily Report. He's got previews, I want to say he said, on 9 teams. With all of this stuff, you struggle for information.
Yeah.
Trying to get information, and people give you information.
Yep.
Let's see. He has got – oh, I thought that was me there for a second.
Apologize.
It's okay. He has got 11 up now, working on the other 13. 9 of the 24 didn't respond or haven't responded yet, but go to Hobbs Daily Report, catch the team previews for this season, and just take what's up there. Appreciate the job that Chris does, and there's good information up there. Richie said it's foggy down in Greenwood as well. Milton, good morning. Yeah, the Panthers are trading away their future, but when you're trading, I believe it's a conditional 7th round next year, and a 6th round in 24. That's not a whole lot. And they brought this kid in, and I'll try to look his name up here, because he had worked with their current offensive coordinator. I don't understand where it makes the Panthers better. The guy's name is Laviska Shenault. They got him out of Jacksonville, another wide receiver. They gave the Jaguars a 23 7th round and a 24 6th round. He's only got a 1.3 hit this year and a 1.6 hit next year. Carolina was down to 80. And they've got to get their roster down to 53. So he'll join DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrence Marshall Jr., and Shi Smith. And those will be the guys that will be in there. Now, where this comes from, and Ben McAdoo, and you remember Ben McAdoo was with the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. But he is the offense coordinator now, and he's got a history with this kid going back to 2020 in Jacksonville when he was the quarterback's coach. He is 6'1", 227 pounds. So we'll see how that goes. He was drafted 42nd overall, so he was a second-round pick in 2020. He had 121 catches for 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns in 2 seasons. But it wasn't until last year that he kind of, I guess, got the wheels up under him because of all the crap going on down in Jacksonville. But I'm just not convinced that that's going to make that much difference. We'll wait and see. But that's your Panther news for today. If you get excited about that, you need some other excitement in your life. That's all I must say. Jimmy G has signed a contract to remain with the 49ers for this year. It is a 1-year contract, reportedly worth $6.5 million, fully guaranteed base, and then he can get more bonuses that would take the total value up to $16 million if all the bonuses are reached. The contract includes a no trade, no tag clause, so it ensures he will serve as the backup for Trey Lance this season and then be able to explore unrestricted free agency in 2023. Ford and I were talking before we went on the air. Before the season's over, we feel like Jimmy G will be your starter for the 49ers. I don't know. Good morning, Andy Royals. I don't understand it. There's some other quarterbacks that's kind of like Jimmy G. They've had a few injury issues, but they still are winners and they still produce more than some of the other players that you put on the field. I'm still not sold on the Trey Lance thing, and I guess until you put him out there and see what happens, he's had 1 year, right?
Right.
He's had 1 year to learn,
Yeah,
and he was taken in the first round, so it's time for him to play. It's time to crap or get off the pot.
Yeah.
You got to find out what you've got in him, but I'm not sure that you have got what you've got in Jimmy G, unless they've got it. It's kind of going to depend how much they depend on his arm, I think.
I guess, in the business world, if you make the investment in something that you have to, push that to the forefront. We see this in recruiting all the time, right? We use, undersized linemen as a great example with height, but yet they're still very, very good.
They meet those.
Yeah.
They don't meet those measurables that they think they've got to have.
He's a first-round pick. He didn't work out, but we gave him the opportunity.
Yeah,
it's almost like everything's a CYA.
Yeah, and that's what most stuff is.
Yeah, I mean, instead of dude, up is down and down is up. That's all I know.
I'm going to give you this one too. Sonny Dykes, TCU, the Horned Frogs, could play 3 quarterbacks in the first game. Max Duggan started 29 games. Chandler Morris had 531 yards total offense in his only full game last fall, and they'll open up against Colorado. Now, the depth chart shows Duggan or Morris as the number 1. Should you not be able to figure out who your quarterback is without doing that? The thing has always been, if you've got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one.
Yeah.
If you've got 2 that you can't decide who you're going to start, then you really don't have one quarterback.
Yeah.
Because nobody has stepped up and put forth and shown what can be done. But Michigan's doing the same thing. Michigan's going to start one kid week 1 and another kid week 2.
Yeah, just to evaluate him.
But
game.
would be better than playing multiple quarterbacks inside the same game? Would it not? Or
I guess in theory. But I guess every team
don't you need to see how they handle coming out and how they finish up?
Well, no, I don't,
because you don't ever know what's going to happen when a kid gets in the game and what the situation of the game is.
Right, and a lot of times it's the competition, and who you're going against, and what are the goals of what you're trying to see.
Yeah,
are you trying to see where this kid is as far as mastery of the offense, being able to direct. The team, being able to get people lined up appropriately, make checks, read check downs, make adjustments, at the line of scrimmage, communicate with the center on, protection. All of these, it goes so much more than just line up running isolation, right? In today's world, there's so much more.
Not many people run.
Yeah, that's right. And they try to use slice and dice game rather than a pound 'em game, which is that's the nature of things right now. It is what it is. I without jumping to conclusion on TCU's thing, they may be at a point where they're just trying to see the growth and development of each kid. Obviously there's a 1-2 like you were talking about. There's really no clear one, but that third player, they may just need to see where they are because they can play them for 2 or 3 games, I think, and still not give up a red shirt.
Yeah.
So if it's a younger
I'm going to say it's 4 games, but I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, it sounds right.
I think that's right.
Yeah, but it's probably not a bad thing. It's just,
and maybe they just need to look and see. I don't know what ages these guys are,
right?
Or whether they do want a red shirt one to save them if one of the other guys is older. Baseball news: Albert Pujols continues to climb the all-time home run list. Last night, he hit number 694.
He's amazing.
Off Reds reliever Ross DeWeiler, who was on the wrong end of a 369-foot 2-run home run to right field. Now, he breaks a tie with Barry Bonds because he's hit a home run off 450 different pitchers in his career. 694. Do you stay in it? Could he be a guy that breaks the record? Could he break the home run record? He's within, 70? What is it?
Is it 755? No, that was
760?
Was it 7? God, Bonds had 770 something, didn't he?
I'm looking. 762. He holds the record at 762. Hank hit 755. Babe was at what, 712, 714?
711, I believe.
When Hank beat it. Now, my question, this is a great one. When you look this up, it says, who holds the home run record without steroids? Can't be Barry Bonds.
Well,
he is 68 away from tying it. 2 seasons worth? Has Pujols got 2 seasons left?
Yeah, that's a lot of home runs.
30 a year?
Yeah, that's a lot for him. Even as great as he is, each year your eyes diminish a little more.
Yeah.
Your reaction time.
He's 42.
Yeah,
He had 8 home runs in August alone, tying Bonds and Carl Yastrzemski for the most in a single month by a player age 42 or older. Yeah, he's not put a ton on here. And Pujols is now just 2 home runs away from tying Alex Rodriguez.
I just have mixed emotions about the home run thing. Yeah, you're not playing inside the same set of circumstances.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I think today it's so much. You played with a dead ball back in the day,
mm-hmm.
and you didn't have a lot of relievers and guys were throwing 9 innings, a lot. Velocity's way down. Then you flip side and say, well, it's a dead ball. And then today you got to face guys coming in throwing 100 miles an hour.
I watched a thing last night about the number of players inside MLB that can throw over 100.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of them. I don't know. I just have mixed feelings about it. And as far as like when people say, well, non-steroid era, this, non-dead ball. No, well,
that's why I've always said you can't compare players from different eras because you're not comparing apples to apples.
Yeah, you got to kind of box it for what it is.
Go back and look at golf. The guys that did it with wooden shafts and wooden heads and a ball that wasn't anything close to the hot ball that they play with now. I've always said I would rather see golf on the professional ranks shorten a little bit and use a different ball that doesn't travel as much so there's more shot making in it.
Yeah, because there's a lot. You're right, because the minimum
same thing with baseball.
Shots, the minimum number of shots are I guess we could pick at anything and find imperfections at most things and try to figure out better ways to do it. But in the end, you just got to play within the rules that are allowed and go what you got. And for the steroid thing, it was not against the rules.
That is correct.
It's not right, but it wasn't against the rules.
Richie, Trey Lance is out of North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Milton says Jimmy G will be in by week 4.
Yeah.
Rich said, as a team, would you not rather have the guy named the starter before game 1? I think so.
Yeah, but there's always –
thanks, Steve. Steve said 762.
There's always circumstances.
Richie says that Michigan's first 2 games are against an FCS team and a low Group 5 team. Yeah. Rich said, I think in his last year, he and Molina both were celebrated at Wrigley Field a few weeks ago. They said it would be the last time they played at Wrigley.
Yeah, it probably would be.
So, but I'm sure Pujols would like to move into that 3rd slot or that 4th slot above A-Rod if he could. Do we see somebody break Bonds' record?
I guess there's one always out there that is lurking. It just takes so long to do it. 30 home runs for 10 years is 300, right? So we gotta, with the pitching part of it really doesn't concern me about how hard people throw, because hitters, I believe now I'm gonna throw something out there that nobody's gonna understand, but it really is a long time before the ball gets to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you repetitiously practice against those speeds. Having said that, the degree of difficulty is still very high.
Everything's relative.
And very hard to barrel the ball.
Yeah.
So don't misunderstand.
Two round objects with any type of consistency in the direction that it goes.
Yeah, and one with raised, the seams being raised. There's a lot to it.
It's not cricket.
No.
That's all I'll say. Because you got the flat bat, you got the flat bat and cricket. Let me take a break. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Still gloomy looking outside.
Very.
And I think they're calling pretty good chance of rain, especially in the mountains, about 80% when you get to midday today. So looks like we'll get some rain around here as well as the day moves on. But the weather is going to still stay warm. Not a real surprise there. Now, this Friday night, then you get a week off.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think everybody, seems like there's one team in our local area, when I say local, Lincoln, Catawba area, only one team is playing that next week. Everybody else has got open dates.
There's some teams down east that took the first week off because they have 8 or 9 teams in their conference, 1A teams. I saw that when I was looking at some stuff last night. And so they didn't play the first week, but are playing 10 straight, after that.
I'm not and I've said this before, I've never been an open week fan. There were one rescheduling year I can remember Maiden had the last week off.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that's okay. That gives you 2 weeks to get ready for the playoffs because more likely you're in the playoffs. Yeah. I just never liked open weeks in high school ball because, to me, high school kids have to get into a set routine. And if you break that set routine, and usually with that, what we used to do in open week, we would maybe do some film work on Monday of the open week.
Right.
Not really a hard practice. We would not practice on Friday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was like almost going back to preseason. We'd bring back county fair a little bit. We'd work on fundamentals, but we'd take those 3 days and just really go hard.
Oh, would you?
But you got out of that mentality and that sequence of what they become conditioned to.
Right.
And depending upon where that thing fell, now, I mean, I get it. This year's open date, from what Keever said, most of the teams around here, they have the same date off because it's between non-conference and conference play.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And I know that the thought is, well, if I've got some kids that are dinged up, that's a week to heal them and stuff. I just have found it. The other thing that I absolutely despised is I hated to have a work day on a Friday if we had a game.
Yeah,
I want kids in school. I don't want them going home. I want to keep them there, because there again, you really got to keep the high school kid in a set routine.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. I think the way that things have been adapted and adjusted is like you were talking about. Maybe Monday you even take it off. Mm-hmm. For us, Labor Day's Monday, so that's a good thing. So we just say, hey, it's not in school anyway. Just see you on Tuesday, right? And then they come in and you just you try to get healthy. If you're banged up any at all or you got some nagging injuries, that gives you a week to get healthy. And I kind of wish we had a week of prep for playoff time too.
Did you ask, where do you like the open week since you have the open week?
Where do I like it?
Yeah.
If I had my preference, it'd be halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. But, ours is fine where it is. Also, if I was on a team that was a consistent playoff contender, I'd like the last week of the season to be open too. I would, just to get.
Well, I mean, you see it in the NFL. Yeah. These teams that have got their playoff seeding sewn up, and they don't play starters that last week of the regular season, and then maybe they've got the open week because they got the bye the next week. Yeah. You see them come back and they're rusty.
Yeah,
they're rusty. Timing's off. All kind of things. So I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan of it. Steve said, going back to baseball, said there are 3 different baseballs that are used. A lot of talk behind scenes by pitchers that say there's a difference of baseballs that come into the game. Mm-hmm. One is wound tighter for longer travel. One that is not, and baseballs used for home run derby that does travel farther.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he would know.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's on the inside,
and it makes sense, for the way that, the kind of the way the game is evolved. There's not a lot of hits going in, or going through the game. That tighter wound ball may be placed into rotation.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
If there's too many hits going on, that softer ball may be coming in.
That.
I know. But again, they're TV markets.
I know. You're talking about NASCAR now.
Yeah.
Hey, there's something on the track. Throw a yellow. Throw a yellow.
Yeah.
Tighten them up. Tighten them up. They're just riding around in a circle right now. Tighten them up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're almost twinsies today. It's close. 4's a little more aqua than my blue here. This is mine's a little bit more royally blue.
Yeah.
Brandon said Maiden, then they had the week delay for
Aquaman.
hurricane makeups. The next week had 3 weeks off in a row that year because of weather. I've never been a fan. Now, when it comes to the NFL, I would like to see I instead of having 17 regular season games, I would have rather stayed with 16 but had 2 open weeks.
Right.
Because those guys do need the rest. They don't fall off like the other people do, because I didn't want more games. I wanted more season.
Right.
I wanted to watch it longer.
Right.
And I think that would have been as good as anything because it would give you another week of TV. Even though it's, not any more games, it still would give you another week of TV.
Well, I think you do it at week 6 and week 12. 6 and 7, 12 and 13 as far as your your off time goes. And that way you've got, 5 or 6 games where you're playing.
Yeah.
Week off. Mm-hmm. You maybe even play on a Thursday so you get 10 days.
Yeah.
The body's got to heal. I mean, it's football. It's baseball you can play every day. It doesn't mean that you don't get injuries and consistent.
Andrew said in NASCAR it's called competition caution. That's what they like to call it. But that's manipulation. That's what that's called. That's what I call it.
Exactly.
Is manipulation. There was a couple of other things that I wanted to get into. Yesterday, this is not going away, and there's some speculation out there that folks think the LIV Tour is trying to crush the PGA Tour.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. All of a sudden, the PGA Tour has found more money to pay these guys. Where did that come from? Was it always there and you just didn't share? And there were 7 more, if I'm not mistaken, 7 more, including, was a guy's name Cam Smith that won the British Open?
Oh, yeah.
He has gone over. Yeah. So there's more of those that have went over. Now, I'm kind of like Harold Varner III went. There it is. I'm kind of like Dan Patrick. The LIV Tour, I think, is going to be in Boston this weekend.
Yep, it is.
I'm watching college football.
Yeah. I don't care.
I don't watch much golf in the fall.
I don't care.
I watch it in spring and summer. Don't watch much golf in the fall. But that's just one of the things that's happening. And this is going to go on for a while. Also, I don't know if you saw this story. Tom Weiskopf passed away over the weekend, golfing legend. And I'm wanting to say he was late 70s, maybe 80s. I don't remember exactly. And in case you didn't know this, the President's Cup is at Quail Hollow. Were you aware of that? Yes. And I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's why they didn't have the Wachovia there, is they were getting that course ready for the President's Cup. September 20th to the 25th. And Monahan has suspended members from competing in LIV golf events, so those players won't be permitted to play in the President's Cup. Now, somebody, again, it's more of a golfer than I am. The President's Cup is the United States version. The Ryder Cup is a European version. Is that correct?
Right.
So the Ryder Cup will probably let these guys play to where the President's Cup won't. But, Rory is there. He won the FedEx. And I want to say, do they get into – don't they, after the FedEx, don't they have like a playoff season, kind of like NASCAR does? The whole NASCAR playoff thing is just stupid.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just being real honest and brutal here.
Yeah.
You can't – NASCAR is the only sport that I know of that when you have playoffs, everybody that didn't make the playoffs still gets to play and can still win. I've never understood that. If you were going to have playoffs, you need to be cutting them down to –
Yeah, that was one of the downfalls, I felt like, of high school sports in today's world. My eyes are watering this morning, sorry.
Allergies.
Yeah, it's incredible. But, you know, it's almost telling people, even though you didn't do good, you're still good enough. Come on in here. You need
Dude,
to
I went to the playoffs at Highland with one win.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I didn't want to go.
If you qualified based on where you finished in your conference or, you know, whatever, or if you're at large, okay, fine. But to water it down where everybody goes, there was one reason and one reason only
Money.
for that. Yeah, and the bad part of that is well, we can just do whatever we want to during the season because we know we're going to get in, and then we'll try to make a run then.
Yeah,
it brings down the quality of competition.
Rich, I really don't know why
They
they race in segments now, but I don't really know why that is. I don't know what that accomplishes in NASCAR. I don't know whether just because it pulls them back together, they don't have to do those competition cautions or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And Lindsay's exactly right. At least with the WWE, you know it's manipulated.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's predetermined.
You're kidding.
No. I know
like,
I'm busting your
telling
bubble.
Me that,
yeah.
Like when Stone Cold and The Rock were fighting, they already knew who was going to win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. God, you know what's even worse? They knew how long it was going to last before they won, too. Yeah. NASCAR's a joke, Milton said. Todd said NASCAR made it too complicated for most of their fans to follow after knocking back a few, which hurt them. Brandon said it involves playoff points and value to them, I think. You know, it used to be the Winston Cup Championship. That's what I remember it as. Now, whatever it's called now in NASCAR. But you used to could figure it out. Now you just about got to have a math degree, and you've got to have a sheet that you can follow along trying to figure out. Listen to Richie. No, it's real. Fingers in the ear. La, 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 la.
Love it.
When we had wrestling at West Lincoln, when they came in, they would give you an end time to the whole night, and it would be within 5 minutes.
So they were that good?
They were that good. They were
incredible.
that good. And the communication, they would let the ref know when to wrap it up, and then there would be the finish, and they would wrap it up. But, yes, did you just think it was coincidence that 1 hour of wrestling on TV and all the matches fit and evened up? Very few times was it, fans, we'll keep the cameras rolling, but we've got to go off the air.
Yeah, I never saw that.
You never saw
the
that?
end.
Andrew said it used to be called the Hendrick Motorsports Championship. Yeah, because well, that was the other thing when they started allowing multiple teams under the same ownership.
Yeah,
that's the other part that hurt it too. And I think there is a limit on how many teams you can own now, but that's still, I mean, everybody knows where all the money is more than anything. Lindsay said, yeah, if you watch a pay-per-view now and it's 10:40, so they've got 20 minutes. Yeah, because it's over by 11. There's kind of a set window in there. Yeah. I'm sorry, we won't even talk about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, okay? We'll let that
what
go.
About them?
We'll let that go. We'll just let that go. I don't want to upset you
them?
any further. They're real. Okay? That's all you need to know. Take a break. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And once again, we're solving the world's problems here.
Nobility's at an all-time high.
An all-time high. Yes. Yeah. I like to think that. Little preview on this week's game.
Yeah, St. Stephen's coming into town. Got a really good quarterback, Division I baseball kid, committed to NC State. Plays shortstop. He's got a good arm. He runs well. They've got 3 very good backs. A couple of them,
When they beat Bandy's, did it say more about Saint or Bandy's? That's my favorite little question.
I think a combination of both. I mean, I think it kind of gave you an idea that, Bandy's is, still.
And then Bandy's bounced back against 4, wasn't it, this past
Bandy's
weekend?
is, hard at work and, trying to get some things right that they want to get right. And Saint is, much improved. They've got a very good sophomore running back, a Gaither kid that runs the ball hard. They've got 3 very, very good wideouts. Their quarterback is elusive. He's smart. He sees the field. Their offensive line is very big up front. Their center is maybe the biggest guy we play against all year. as far as, how big he is. Defensively, they move around. They got good special teams. It's going to be we had a dogfight with Watauga, and I will tell you that, going into the fourth quarter, it's 19-8 us, and it was our kids played hard, they hit hard. We've got to turn around, and my point is, and do that again this week. Kyle Lohman, he's a Lohman. He can coach. Randy, you don't hang out with your dad for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Growing, as a child and then as a player, then as a coach, and not know what you're doing.
And then his brother's at East Surrey.
Yeah, well, Trent was the head coach at Bandy's for years.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
East Surrey now,
it's not.
And has been in the state championship like 3 times and won. There. I think all 3 of them against Tarboro. And last year he lost to Shelby. In the 2, they bumped him up a class, even though their numbers weren't up. They bumped East Surrey up from 1A to 2A, and East Surrey made it to the 5th round against Shelby after, beating us by a point in the 4th round. These guys understand football, and they do a great job. Kyle, what I'm watching with Kyle is not only does he understand, the ground game, but his fundamental understanding of the passing game and how to manipulate zone coverages and just teach kids to do that is especially just, here he is in year 2, I believe. Is that right? He's in year 2. Yeah, it's remarkable what he's doing with the kids at Saint. And Saint's a big school. They got a lot of kids in it. And
3A, right?
Yeah. If they get these guys to keep coming out, they got a great wrestling program. Soccer's good. Basketball's good. Baseball's good. Track. If they continue to get these kids out to play, you can expect them. And I expect Kyle to do that.
St. Stephen's has always been a place that has struggled to have a successful football program.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, they were really good in baseball. They were top of the line in track and cross country. They had one of the best track teams around. Struggled in football.
Well, when I was in high school, I played East Burke, and St. Stephen's, we played in non-conference. Dickie Foster was the coach at St. Stephen's.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Watkins, who I played against.
That's who was when I was in high school.
All right, Michael Watkins, who I played against in high school, his boy is playing for St. He's a wideout / running back, great player.
Mm-hmm.
I think Michael played at Carolina. These guys are good. They hit, they tackle, they play hard. They're a well-coached team. So we'll see.
Battle of Hog Hills coming up this Friday night, according to Cole Setzer. Andrew said, I'm glad I don't have to face a senior-loaded maiden team coming off their first loss of the season and having their first home game of the season, because first 2 weeks were on the road for the Blue Devils, so they're back at home for this weekend.
The guys are a little ticked about Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And
you want to lose big. When you lose, you want to lose big. When you have to lose, let me get it out there, because you're going to say, I don't want to lose. If you lose, do you want to lose big or you want to lose close?
Me personally, I want to lose close.
Okay.
That way it's hard. You never get over it, but you get through it.
But you can get over losing big easier than you can get over losing close, because you keep second-guessing yourself about something you can't fix.
Yeah.
Hard to move on.
If I'd done this or if we had done that, or,
Exactly.
No, I get it.
Exactly. Now, let me give you this one.
The Hog Hills, West Lincoln, and Ford, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Coach Foster was at Fred T. Ford when you were in high school, because he coached with my dad, or my dad coached with him. Somebody else.
When I was in high school, Troy Leatherman was the head coach at Ford.
Okay, and then Coach Foster came
I think so,
after that.
Because Coach Leatherman, Troy Leatherman, was an assistant at West Lincoln that left when Brennan Elliott left, and he went to Ford, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
and
you're
it's funny. It's been a number of years, but
right.
I used to see him and eat lunch with him at Brookwood, because he worked up in Newton somewhere. He had gotten out of coaching and teaching, and I used to see him some.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
See, back then, that was on Coach Elliott's team. Some of the assistants came through there was Coach Leatherman, Tom Watson.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Wes Beam coached on that one, and Kelly Childers coached on that one. And, help me. Hickory. Dave Elder was an assistant
Coach
there
Elder
before I got
wow.
there. Yeah, Coach Elder was an assistant there for a few years.
Wow. Love David Elder.
Yes.
I saw Tom Watts a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Great
See,
guy.
when I was in Cole said Coach Foster was early 80s, so that would have been
he came.
Yeah,
'cause
that would have been
Dad
after
got
Troy
to Ford in
Leatherman.
'82, and I think like Cole's talking about, Coach Foster came in at like the 79, 80 season, something like that. So yeah.
I have one more baseball story that I want to get to, and I heard this yesterday, and I'm wondering how far it will go. But the Major League Baseball Players Association took an initial step towards unionizing minor leagues because minor leagues is starting to kind of fall away, and this is part of it. 5,000 players who won a $185 million settlement from the league in unpaid wages in a class action suit. It says that minor league players' compensation and benefits are not collectively bargained, continue to argue for higher salaries because the vast majority are $5,000 to $14,000 a year.
Yeah, that's right.
How can you do that? Because you can't work. You play 142 games.
Yeah.
How do you live?
Well, it's like me getting out of high school. Basically, what I was, and I say told, but what what we were discussing was is $650 a month was the salary, and I mean it kind of is what it is. But they've cut the rounds in the draft way down. They've restructured minor league baseball. Instead of having teams everywhere and doing all this stuff, they started structuring it where these guys go through.
Better or worse?
There's always like you said, there's pros and cons. The pros of it are things are more streamlined to the majors.
You're going to know quicker whether you can get there or not instead of hanging around in minor leagues for $15,000 a year for 8 years.
Yeah, and it's more for the MLB teams and organizations to know how to invest in players.
But that's what it should be.
Yeah, but again, it's a business.
Right.
So when COVID came through, when they canceled the minor league season, they did a lot of restructuring, saying, well, look, we've found out a lot of stuff we don't need. There's overhead.
With anything. That a lot of folks found that out, which is not a bad thing either.
Well, that's when people talk about
efficiencies.
The reset. The reset is on how you look at things, how you perceive things. And often our perception is our reality, even though it may not be the truth. Okay? And the third thing is anytime you do a reset, it changes the mindset. If you can get someone to do something for 31 days, then it's set in their mind, and it takes years to break it.
Yeah.
How long did we have to sit in our house?
Oh, gosh, it was months. Well over 31 days.
I say we had to. No, we made that choice based on what people were telling us.
Right.
Right. Now,
but it's still, that's a perception that became reality that you had to deal with.
And so the businesses that are doing the best that were started or happened before all this happened were the businesses that said, no, we're going to continue to operate.
Yeah.
And again, you have to look at it from a realistic standpoint and ask yourself questions. All right, we're talking about the reset in MLB, right, with the minor leagues. But you have to look at it in our lives too, Laney. Why could we not go into Piedmont Hardware, but it was okay to go to Lowe's in a full parking lot? Okay, no, you see what I'm saying, and I'm not saying
rules.
right or wrong.
Different rules.
Right, but what I'm saying is, because anybody can make the judgment whether it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is, if you do something and have people do something for 31 straight days, in their mindset, it makes it hard to break. How many things have changed over since all this happened?
No, I agree, and it's affected everything. I would like to see – I've always said that minor league baseball had the best plan to develop, evaluate talent to make it to where the NFL the NBA does it a little bit with the G League, but the NFL, it's sink or swim. You have no way. They use college as your minor league system, for lack of a better term.
I got just switch back to Watauga. I got something I want to share with you.
Okay.
And Cole Cole's listening. He and I had lunch a few weeks ago. We're talking about things. Watauga practiced all week for a home game, okay, about 2.5 to 3 hours a day. Their coaches spent 0 time getting the field ready for Friday night's game. They practiced 2.5 hours and had a walkthrough on Thursday to prepare their kids for Friday night, right?
And why?
All right. And the point is, at Maiden this week, some of our coaches will spend 6 to 7 hours prepping the field, all right, instead of spending that time with the players. They'll have to leave their position during practice, to go help do certain things to get things ready, all right. Everything's about deepening relationships and finding out about kids, right? Finding out maybe some things that we didn't know and ways to help. So as coaches, people want to, and Cole and I talked about this, but people want to know why it's so important to have facilities, that you don't have to continually work on. It's because you can either spend that time making that field look good, or you can spend that time developing and holistically the player and finding out things.
The whole key to this thing is you only have X amount of time that you can be with anybody or get anything accomplished. So you're trying to figure out, how can I get the most accomplished with the most benefit?
Right.
That's the key.
Right. And it
proper
is,
utilization of time.
And I will tell you, whether it be on a turf field or if someone else is maintaining the field, 100%. If I'm coaching, there are 3 kids in my tenure alone that I was able to spend more time with and find out that they didn't have resources at home.
Yeah.
And I'll give an example. One was food. All right. One was basically the kid was homeless. All right. Basically. Okay. Because the mother had moved out with her boyfriend. The dad was non-existent. All right. The kid was 15. Okay. And then another one I won't share with on the air. But the point is, if I had been working on that field, would I have had the opportunity
you wouldn't
to sit
have
down
known
with that kid? And so that's another reason that it's so important.
Oh, I know.
That if you're going to provide opportunities, that you don't get it caught up in the cost of it as much as you do the investment and what that investment really leads to.
And see, I think now it's even more important because you have so many more issues that kids have to deal with today that they didn't have to deal with back then.
And they're
it was
all
a little simpler. Yeah. I'm talking about when I came through.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. You used to be able to settle things with your fist.
Yep.
All right. Or with your bike. All right. Or your mom and dad would go fight the neighbor's mom and dad.
That's right.
I'm being funny, but yeah, my point is.
You didn't live in Krause.
I'm being funny. I'm not being. But the point is, it got worked out. And then there was no more problem. There may be some hard feelings for a couple of weeks, but it got worked out. Everybody moved on.
Yeah.
Today, different kind of different kind of bullying, different kind of world. Everything's immediate and instant gratification along with need, and these are the things that things happen in time and often not hours, if you know what I mean.
No.
And so this is where we are.
Let me catch these 2 comments before we have to get out of here. Richie said, see, this is what coaching and teaching is about. You're building relationships and trying to help kids not just be better students and athletes. You're working to help them make them better people and help show that 100%. Other people do care about them. I've said this for as long as I was ever in it. Coaching in sports is about teaching life lessons,
Absolutely.
Utilizing sports and something that the kids are interested in.
100%.
But you're teaching them things that will last them forever, how to be good fathers, how to be good husbands, how to be good workers.
Talk this all the
I mean,
time.
all of this stuff is important, and that was one of the reasons that I got out when it got to the point to where I didn't feel like I was being effective in sharing that with the kids that I was around. It was time for me to get out because that's what I was about.
Yep.
I wasn't trying, and maybe it's bad on my part. That number one goal was not that state championship. If I'll take care of the other things, that will happen. But I want to make sure I made a difference in the life of these kids that was the thing that stays with them, in my opinion.
No, and you're 100% right. And you know, you invest so much time and energy from the time they're little, right? And you work with these kids, and then you have, you know, the ability and opportunity to continue with them, you know, whether it be like the school system, for example. Like, I'm coaching these kids in Little League, you know, Quinn, all his buddies, whether you're older, you're younger, it doesn't matter. Coaching the kids. Quinn's 7th grade, goes to play middle school football, middle school baseball. Next year they come up, middle school coach gets moved to Bandy's. So I'm talking to principal and AD. I'm like, guys, what are we going to do? You know, I'm there to help, try to connect things, try to help get guys in, give them ideas, whatever we can do, right? And they're both staring at me. Well, what are you going to do this fall? Well, I guess I'll be coaching middle school, you know, football, okay? So I did that for a year. I got a group of, you know, 5 or 6 guys. You know, some of them were dads, but they were they were there for the right reasons, right? You know, we had a faculty member and then, you know, 5 other people outside the school. Great experience for the kids.
Yeah.
We talked about growth and development. We didn't worry about winning games. We wanted to win. Okay, come on. I mean, fierce competitor, all right? But more fierce about the growth and development than, because in the end, that's, you know, what the finished product is, you know, you want it to be. And so we do that. Quinn goes to high school. Varsity football coach tells me, hey, look, can you be the head JV coach with these guys? I want you here helping us. Okay. So I do that, just organize things, organize the team, right? Always there to help, never asked to be paid or compensated. You know, they paid me one time by accident, and I turned around and gave it right back, you know. Yeah, I'm just giving an example. That's not why I do that. Now, just follow me through. So Coach Byrne comes to me, Robbie retires, defense coordinator. He's like, look, I can go hire somebody, but I really want you to do it. Can you do it? I was like, yeah, I'll do it for a year or two, and then that'll give you time to get somebody in. Well, this is my 3rd year, and I'm done, okay? But what's interesting to me is I've never done anything in this community but try to help, whether it be the elementary school, the backpack program, teachers, all these things. Do you know that at a school board meeting back in June that there was a vote 3-2 for me to coach? 2 people voted against me to come coach kids. Why would you do that?
Why would
I haven't done anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Except try to help.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about what's wrong with things? Well, I mean, if people that give and give freely with no regard for anything except to help other people, why would you do that?
People are scared of things like that.
Well,
because
it makes no sense.
It's because there must be an underlying motive. Why would he give of himself for nothing? Because they can't do that. They can't give of themselves for nothing.
I understand, but Lanny, and I'm not sitting here going, oh, I can't believe they didn't vote for me. What I'm saying is, I've not done anything to try to help.
Right, but like
now,
I say,
they don't mind when I'm taking my money for sponsorships or feeding the teachers or making sure buying pizza for the kids and certain clubs and doing this. But all of a sudden, football,
they want to control you.
We voted 3-2. Thank God for thank you, Jeff and Glenn and whoever the other person was. I mean, what the heck, man?
Ronnie said the bad thing is, too, that there are some coaches that just want to put down a kid and not get involved with the kid, and that coach needs to get out of coaching. There are coaches that need to get out of coaching, and I'll leave that there. And then Michelle Proctor, since you're up this early this morning, you must have things to do on the farm because you tell me you're not an early morning person. She said, great lesson in itself. If the spot is empty, step up.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Amen.
Have a great day, guys. We'll see you. Won't see you tomorrow. I got some other things I got to do tomorrow. Kind of, bigger name on another line kind of thing. But be back Thursday.
What does it involve?
I can't say. It's strictly confidential. See you guys.